let's talk about the lat slash low row attachment from Rep. One thing that I've always said is this is my favorite rack attachment I've ever used. And I would also say that if you're considering a rack from Rogue, Rep, or wherever, that this rack attachment is actually, if you value these movements, it's good enough to make you want to choose a Rep rack over anything else. And I know Titan recently added something somewhat similar. It looks like it takes up a little bit more space, and there might be some other options relatively similar, but the Rep rack is a safe bet if you want to be able to add this option. So for one, it takes up a lot less space. Mark explained earlier that he has his own separate lat slash low row station, but this one only takes up an additional 5 inches of depth and then adds 3 inches to the height of the rack, which isn't much at all considering the versatility it adds. Plus, it really doesn't get in the way of your other lifts. So for example, you can do lat pull downs and have the bench at the same time. So you can do both without either lifts being affected, or you can do low row and squats. So in general, it doesn't affect too much. If you want like a bench spotter, you'll have to use the front, and then also adjustable bench. If you want to do barbell adjustable bench, you'd also have to move up to the front of a likely 6-post rack or 4-post rack, wherever it is. In addition, the pulley movements are really smooth. Coming from a commercial gym, I can't really tell the difference. And then the overall quality is great. So it takes up little space, has a ton of versatility, is built with high quality, and then it's just a better option for me than adding a standalone option. You guys have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And then that lat pull low row attachment for the 4,000, 5,000 for the rep racks uses that dual rod, which makes it really smooth. I use a PR 1100. And so I have a 2x2 chrome post that my weight travels on. A little bit more friction when I go to Jake's gym and use his attachment. Man, that thing is smooth. It's heavy, which isn't a negative at all. You can use it for not only lat low rows, you can tricep push down, you can curl on it. I mean, it's a cable attachment. It's a great piece. And the price, Jake, tell me if I'm wrong, it's like $350 or more? How much is it?
I think it's closer to like 500 now, like maybe
Okay.
480
Okay.
After everything in the industry went up, but still
Right.
cheaper than like most standalone plate loaded options.
Sure. And then if you go with like a rogue rack, you have the slinger, which is on your arm, dropped in between. Just doesn't seem like an ideal option. I think if I had a different company's rack, I might go with the surplus strength, the UPS, the universal pulley system, just to get it out of in between the rack. But yeah, the rep attachments are awesome for lat low row.
Yeah, and
Mark,
the UPS might actually be my second favorite. So it's, while I love the rep option, if you have a rogue rack, I would recommend getting the surplus strength option. I also use that quite a bit, added it onto a different portion of the rack, which if you're watching video, I think you can see.
now you gotta move left.
Oh yeah, that's right. There we
There it is.
go.
There she is.
There she is.
Mark, have you tried any other cable attachments before you got your standalone?
No, I didn't. I just I had the space, and I started with the Titan plate loaded pulley. I was actually impressed with it. I think when you like lube up the guide rods, and I changed out the pulleys to some like aluminum ones, it was like super smooth, and I was actually super impressed with it. The only thing I didn't like was if you don't bolt it down or have it on like some kind of platform bolted down, when there's certain movements, like it'll like move the actual like machine or tip it a little bit, depending on like how much weight you're using. So I didn't like that. Eventually I sold that, and it's funny, I came across and you guys will hear this when I get into more details, but for like $50, I found this pulley system on Marketplace. And initially I was just going to retrofit the weight stack onto my Titan, but I ended up putting it together, and I actually liked it better. And this thing was from 1995, and it's a heavier gauge steel, but it's still 2x2 tubing. I preferred it better, so I sold the Titan tower, and I think I might have come out on top with that one, because when I bought the tower initially, the price was like $499, and I think now it's like $599. So I sold it cheaper than Titan selling it now, but it was more than what I sold it for more than what I actually paid for. So I came out on top there.
Adam and I are pretty big fans of that Titan standalone option as well.
Plate loaded one was really impressive. Yeah.
Tough to beat for the money.